Oh, yeah. I am awake and alive.
I'm so great I gotta say it twice and cut it out once. My head's a syrup bottle that's getting tipped over every Wednesday. You're a storyteller in a storytelling podcast, and the only story you're telling now is a story about stories you don't want to tell! What the fuck? Hey, what's happening? Mike Schmidt, 40-Year-Old Boy Podcast. Folks, let me ask you something. Now, you are home and you're thinking to yourself, oh my God, something's wrong with my head. Perhaps there's a headache, perhaps there's some sort of pain, a migraine even. I don't know how you want to call it. Or maybe you're just in a constant pain. Maybe there's a constant patina of pain overwhelming your body, like it's washed over you. And you're thinking to yourself, wow, and then you actually start forgetting things. Maybe you try to remember things, you forget things, you can't remember them properly, you're misspelling words, or you just find yourself in a constant state of flux. Certainly intelligence-wise or thinking-wise, it doesn't feel like your brain is working properly. You actually think you might have some brain damage. So who do you go talk to, folks? Let me ask you something. That happens to you. Who do you go talk to for a diagnosis? Maybe a brain doctor? Maybe. I don't want to put what I would do onto you folks. I don't want to project what I would do. I would go to a brain doctor. That's me. I personally I would grab the yellow pages and I would look under B and I would scroll past, baby makers. And I would scroll past baloney makers because apparently I have the yellow pages that just produce products. I don't have anybody else in there. And I would go right to brain doctor. That's what I would do. I'd look under brain doctor. Some of you may approach it differently. Some of you may be like my friend Lily Von Stupp, who is here in the kitchen with me, the kitchen of the fabled podcasting stripper's kitchen. And you would go and talk to a person that she just said to me, she goes, you know what, I've come to the conclusion I have brain damage. And I asked my chiropractor and he agreed. And he didn't just agree, like she actually made a face like he's nodding, like he had some sort of wizened opinion. Wizened? I don't know how you pronounce that word sometimes. You know why? Because I'm going to have brain damage. Perhaps I grab the phone and I dial up a guy who moves my shoulder in 90 degrees and see what he thinks about my brain. Are you fucking kidding? They aren't even doctors of the body. He's nothing. You know what he is? He's like a frustrated boxer and you're a heavy bag. That's what a chiropractor is. Chiropractors don't have any sort of licensing or any sort of medical degree. No, they don't. They do not. They have a storefront operation. They are literally, they are a happy ending away from being Asian masseuses. That's what they are. Chiropractors they are a storefront. They are always in some shady storefront. You walk in, it's kind of dingy, and they got old magazines that real doctors have gotten rid of. Oftentimes, you will go into an alley. Go right now. Go to an alley behind your doctor's office and look around, and you'll see some like shady dude in a polo with like really expensive sunglasses. That's a chiropractor skulking around to take bad magazines out of the dumpster. He is just there to steal those magazines and bring them to his office and put them out so he looks like he has some sort of semblance of medical training. That's it. And go to a chiropractor's office and look at all the magazines and notice that the address label is ripped off. It's not because he doesn't want you to know that where he lives in his fancy palatial apartment. No, it's because he stole them from real doctors. Chiropractors steal magazines from doctors. I'm telling you, go right now. Go to your doctor. Right now, plug in me into your iPod vagina, hop in the car, drive to your doctor's office, and go around the back. And I guarantee there's like 4 Armenian dudes with like really fancy clothes and sunglasses. All they are is just chiropractors looking to steal magazines to convince you that you have brain damage.
He wasn't convincing me. We were talking in context of something bigger.
I'm going to say this. I agree with him, however. I agree with his diagnosis of your brain damage. You know why? Because you went to a chiropractor to find out whether or not you had brain damage. That is the number one symbol, the number one symptom of whether or not you have brain damage. Did you go to a chiropractor to confirm your brain damage? Jesus Christ, this guy, and a chiropractor, you're like a chiropractor's dream because all he wants to do is get you on your back. Literally, he's like, all right, lay on your back because I have to work on your legs for about an hour and a half. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. And he's still got his sunglasses on. I've seen chiropractors. They're not to be trusted or believed at all. I had a car accident once, like a million years ago, and they're like, go to this chiropractor. And I walked in again, same thing, shady storefront, just that smell of rank amateurism when you walk in the goddamn door. And the guy's like, all right, lay down, and then he just twisted me around like like bread dough and all right, you're done. And then it's fucking $400 or whatever the fuck they charge my insurance company, and it's not real medicine, it's black magic, it's voodoo, it's voodoo. I'm surprised when you go in there they don't have you hold a gree bag and then scratch you with a chicken claw. That's how fucking horrible chiropractic is.
It helps my back and my neck and my TMJ.
It does not help your TMJ. These are lies. They're lies. I don't believe you. It's part of your brain damage coming and manifesting itself now to think that you've been cured by a chiropractor. That's a number two symptom of brain damage is to think that the chiropractor is helping you in any particular way. By the way, folks, I think I talked last week about Lily going on the road with me and doing and taking dictation. I may have mentioned that. I said Lily would come and she would sit on the stage and she'd wear like a man's white dress shirt and then she'd wear hose and then have her shoe hanging off of her foot. And look, again, I hadn't thought that much about it, but I told you about it last week. So I mentioned that, right? Didn't I talk about that? She knows what's about to be told. So sure enough, I come today to record, and I knock on her door, and she opens the door. What is she wearing, folks? Tell me. I demand that you tell me. She's wearing a man's white dress shirt. Like, unfortunately, there were pants involved. She had pants. She didn't go the full outfit. But it's funny, when I walked in, she opened the door and she was standing there, men's dress shirt, and I smirked immediately. And I guess maybe I smirk all the time because she just kind of looked at me like, why? What the hell? What's your problem? But I was like, really? That's all right, fine. If that's the uniform now, because I'm excited, I'm fine with that. That's the uniform, I'm in. If that's the uniform we're going to go with, it came flying out of my mouth last week, completely unadorned with any sort of expectation. But yet, sure enough, the door opens today, and there it is, white man's dress shirt. Yes. Not white man's dress shirt. Hold on. Men's white dress shirt. Not a white man's dress shirt. That's ridiculous. It'd have a fucking pocket full of mayonnaise and tickets to the Poconos. I mean, of course not. It's a men's white dress shirt. Anyone can wear it. Any guy at all. Any color or creed. But I particularly enjoy it on a lady. I'm a fan. I'm not going to lie to you folks. So the door opens, and sure enough, there she is. And now I'm thinking, oh, wait, we're doing cosplay for the goddamn podcast now? You decided to dress up as the ideal? That's good. All right, I suppose. And in my head, we're sitting here. So then I sit down and we talk and we kill some time here chatting. And she's got the computer and she's discussing. And we were talking about, well, I can't tell you what we're talking about. We're talking about real life, which I can't talk about real life these days, folks. I can't, because it would just, honestly, as dwindling as my audience numbers are, they would go completely to the fucking basement floor if I were to tell you about real life, because nobody wants to fucking hear it, because it's incongruous, all right? Because it's like I mentioned last week, people are always like, hey, you talk about this, but then you do this. And it's like, yeah, because I'm a fuck up. I mean, that's the whole, isn't that the whole premise of the show, is that I do stupid shit even though I tell you that I shouldn't be doing that stupid shit? Right? So if I tell you now that I have no money, I'm completely almost flat broke, I'm busted and have no cash, literally, it's not even a joke. Like, there is, all right, if you were to draw like a cartoon in the 50s and there was like a family behind a door, and then knocking on the door was like a shadow with the word bankruptcy on it, that's what's happening to me right now. It follows me in my car. It follows me at my regular home. It's here in the stripper's kitchen lurking. And it is the looming shadow of insolvency is constantly there. And I wish I could explain it to you folks, but I can't. That's the thing. Because at the same time, I also want to tell you how I saw the Avengers. And you're going to be like, hey, motherfucker, why are you telling us that you're completely broke, but yet you saw the Avengers? I don't know. I'm sorry. That's the dichotomy that is Mike Schmidt. That's what brings you to you know what? My dichotomy brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, it's better than yours. And damn right, it's better than yours. I could teach you, but I'd have to charge, which I actually should do, because I guess I've told you I'm almost fucking bankrupt. Holy shit. I should charge. I should teach you so I could charge. Khalees is how you pronounce that, right? Is it? I never knew how to pronounce it. Then it was Khalees, and now here's the thing. Let me tell you a little about Khalees really quick. She had the Milkshake song, and isn't she married to Nas, or she's married to Common? I forget. I can't keep track, folks. She's married to Nas. She's married to Common. She's married to someone who does not wear a white man's dress shirt. I can tell you that. So she's married to one of them, and unfortunately I can't pull it off the top of my fucking head right now. But so she was like, when she made the Milkshake video and stuff, she was a little thick, if I remember correctly, but she was, she was still really attractive. And then probably a year and a half ago, I was watching Top Chef Masters. And they have, which is what they do is they get real chefs to come in and compete like they're on Top Chef, but they're really not. It's Top Chef Masters I enjoy, but at the same time, it's kind of rough to enjoy it because the mean is all gone. All right, they're not mean to the Top Chef Masters because these guys are all really well established and honestly are doing Top Chef a favor by coming on and doing their show. So they can't be like, dude, this fucking tastes like dog food. Like, you can't say that to Rick Bayless. He'll fucking spit in your face. Probably not. Hold on. That seems like a reaction that I would not attribute to a Rick Bayless. Rick Bayless is who I want to be. That's who I aspire to be in my life. He's like the most gentle, erudite, well-conditioned, well-adjusted person I think I've ever seen in my life. And granted, I'm only getting him from TV. But let's put it this way. If you're on TV and you come across as the most admirable person I've ever seen in my life, then what could you be like in real life? You have to be either the world's greatest actor or you are that person, right? Because Rick Bayless, the thing here's what I think. Before I get into Rick Bayless. So I come in here and she's wearing a white dress shirt, right? And which is fine. And I see the white dress shirt and I don't say anything, but I'm still in my head. I'm just like, well, that's all right. I get to look at that all day. And then we're here talking about real life. And then in the middle of that discussion, folks, white dress shirt comes off and I'm left with her wearing a doily. Like, she's literally wearing a doily now. She has a white tank top on that does not fit. Doesn't fit. And wouldn't fit a child. Would not fit a child. And yet she has crammed all of herself into it. And it's all like lurking, and it's just, I'm not complaining. I'm absolutely not complaining. Because here's the thing, folks. I didn't think it could get any better than white dress shirt. I really did not. Like, when I saw white dress shirt in my head, I'm like, all right, well, this is great, and it's going to be cosplay, and I'm going to do this all in my head the entire time that I'm here. And all she needs is a pen in her mouth and a shoe dangling off of her foot, and I might never leave. But then, and you need glasses too. You need little glasses on. But then when the dress shirt came off, everything went up a level. Everything went up a level, folks. All of a sudden, it was like, wait a minute, hold on, go ahead and lock that door and hold my calls. Seriously. So what was I talking about? I was talking about Top Chef. I was talking about Rick Bayless. Rick Bayless is a chef. He's got he's got a television show, and the thing is, he comes off as sickeningly nice, but at the same time, he's crazy rich, and he's an amazing chef, and he lives in Chicago. Like, I'm at that point in my life where I see people that have done the things they were supposed to do and have become the people they wanted to become, and I'm so fucking angry at those people. Who the fuck do you think you are? Why are you better than me? Why are you better than all of us, motherfucker? God damn it, you and your stick-to-itiveness and your get stuff done and your fucking sense of accomplishment, your smugness. Fuck you and your bullshit, all right? You're out there living in houses I'm never going to own and making moles I'm never going to make. Fuck off. Fancy Restaurant Jones on your goddamn PBS show. Oh, let's go to Mexico and 4 of my friends are going to eat fucking street tacos as if it was some sort of exploration. Not because all we can afford is fucking street tacos. He's got a fucking show where he goes to Mexico and he eats street food as if it was like an experiment. Like, he's just like, I can't wait to taste this delicious street food. Look around you, man. There are fucking street urchins and all they can afford is that goddamn... They can't even afford that. They have to go up and beg for a tortilla just so they can wrap it around a dog's leg and suck the liquid out of it through the tortilla. That's it. They can get like a dog sweat taco. That's all they can fucking afford. And it's because they beg the tortilla. They can't even afford that. They have to pin the dog down. You have any idea how tough it is to wrap a tortilla around a dog's rear leg while he's trying to bite you with his head and you suck the dog sweat out through the fucking tortilla? You know how hard that is? It's so difficult. Take it from a guy like me who hasn't done anything in his life except for that. That's the only thing I've ever accomplished in my life is I've learned how to calm a dog down enough to where it will lay down. I can wrap a corn tortilla around its rear leg and then just kind of suck the sweat out of it so I get kind of a corny dog taste. That's where I'm at with my life, motherfucker. And you're going to walk around and have a PBS show about exploring street food. Fuck that. Street food keeps people alive. That's it. You think you're finding new tastes and new delicacies? This is keeping homeless people alive. That's all street food is in goddamn Tijuana. God damn it, you're so perfect, Rick Bayless. Follow him on Twitter. He's sending, we're exploring new dishes now. We're with possibly nopales. Fuck you. You're eating cactus in a fancy way. There are people out there who have to eat cactus to stay alive, and not in a nice preparation like you. Nobody gets to make like a nopales salsa. There are people out there who have to actually bite a cactus. That's how fucking poor they are. You know how poor a lot of people are? They have to walk out to the desert and just bite a cactus, stickers and all. There's no camera crew. These people are biting a cactus because they're desperate. They're not biting it because they want to get ratings, all right? Everybody, so there are people out there whose lives are a reality show. That's it. You know, because you see reality shows and they're like, hey, eat this cactus. Haha, Fear Factor. There are people whose real life is Fear Factor. They have to walk into the desert and bite a goddamn cactus just to stay alive. And you're out there filming for PBS. And that's it, PBS too. That was your choice, PBS, you dick. Why am I mad at Rick Bayless? I admire Rick Bayless. I don't want him to hear this and hate me. Although I will tell you this, he has a cooking show that I watch on TBS. TBS? That'd be awful. What's he making, possum? Fuck that. Why is TBS... all right, hold on. TBS used to be the Atlanta Superstation. Now it's just a superstation. But my head went right to possum cooking. Right when I said TBS, because I grew up with it as fucking Atlanta. And it was Cornpone Jones and some guy with a fucking mustache and Atlanta Braves baseball. That's all it was. I don't think Cornpone Jones was on that long when I was a child. But Rick Bayless has a show on PBS. It's about tacos, or it's about Mexico, and he goes out and he travels around and he eats stuff. But then here's I love the guy, and I love his on-camera demeanor because he's so excited and happy to be showing you how to make something with a corn husk. I mean, he's like so... I've never been that happy in my life as he is to show you how to toast almonds. It's like, oh yeah, you toast these almonds and you grind them into an almond pesto and it goes right into your mole. And it's like, I watch him and I long to be him because he lives in Chicago and like his awesome brownstone. He has an amazing garden in his backyard. And yeah, I'm fucking pissed off at him because he actually accomplished the things he said he was going to do in his life. Who does that? I don't want to hear about that. I want to hear about me and my friend Lily who are here, you know, comparing problems for an hour before I even start to record the goddamn show. Poor Lily's off talking to a chiropractor about her brain damage. That's how mismatched our lives are, Rick Bayless. I'm sure you've got fancy insurance and you got a problem with your jaw? You actually go to a dentist. Well, aren't you fucking hoity-toity? My friend Lily has a problem with her brain and she has to go out and see some fake Armenian and ask him about it. You know what he does? He nods and confirms it. Then he takes off his fucking Ferrari sunglasses and polishes them and puts them back on. We're poor, Bayless. How did I get lost on Bayless? Tacos.
Street food, being poor, not being successful.
You know what though? What you just said? No, that's fine. You've just encapsulated my life. Like literally, you just went tacos, street food, not being successful. Yep, that's. If I had a baseball card, that's what would be on the back of the baseball card. Mike Schmidt, tacos, street food, not being successful. God damn it. And again, why I don't understand why you even listen to hear me talk to you about this. And it's like, you know what's funny is I'm telling you this, I can't even get into the depths of unsuccessfulness that I've hit. I can't even tell you about it, folks. I want to. Jesus Christ, I would love to tell you just exactly. It's being measured in hours. My life is now being measured in hours. It's not even, I wish I was kidding. My financial well-being is being measured in a matter of hours. It's not even... Well, this will happen in a few months down the line. No. If I had a financial planner, I would sit with him and he'd go, all right. And he would have to break out a daily planner. Like he wouldn't even be able to look at it and say, well, 6 months down the line, we'll go ahead and look at this. And then your IRA will manifest. And then this 401k. No. He would have to go, all right, at 4 o'clock. This is all you need to know about my financial situation, folks. I'm drinking water today. I enjoy water. Water's great. I love water. Usually my fridge is stocked chock full on the bottom shelf, half of it with water, half of it with Propel. There is a lonely half of a shelf on my fridge right now because I can't even go get Propel. And again, I'm not joking. I wish I was joking. I wish this was all hyperbole and me telling you fun stuff, but then at the same time, I'm telling you that I can't afford my favorite beverage or I can't go ahead and stock up with it or I haven't had the chance to because, I don't have any money to do so. And then in the same breath, I'm going to tell you that I saw the Avengers, folks. That's what I'm going to tell you. I saw them and I loved them and I loved being there and I loved seeing the movie and it was great. And so you're thinking, dude, why didn't you save that $15 and use it to buy Propel? Yes, you're probably right. Okay. Your tisk is not helping anybody. I don't need you to look down your nose at me, pull your Ferrari sunglasses down to the edge of your nose and stare at me over them, and then walk up and crack my neck. I don't need that from you, internet ghost chiropractor. I don't need your fucking scoffing. But how do you not see the Avengers? Seriously, everybody in the world has seen it. I couldn't not see it and then not talk about it. Oh, and by the way, if you've seen it, I'm not going to spoil anything, I guess. The Avengers are in it. Does that spoil anything? I don't know if it does. I had something for me spoiled about the movie just before I went to see it, and I was so happy. Thank you. That's one of the reasons why I had to see it. I had to see it before others. So, because here's the thing, I have you don't want to hear this, but I don't fucking care. You know, my financial situation has changed in a way that I don't even like go to the movies. Like I want to go. I would go to the movies like fucking 3 times a week. But unfortunately, things have had to change. I've had to alter some stuff and move some stuff around and figure out how to do it and whatever. You don't fucking care. But then the thing was, I would go to see friends, and then my friends would talk about a movie, and I would be like, oh, yeah, you know, and I'd almost like cover my ears like a child, like I didn't want to hear it. And then my friends would bust my balls because they'd be like, that's been out for like a month and a half. Like, how have you not fucking seen that? And then you don't want to look at your friends and go, because I don't have $12 to fucking go to the goddamn theater because I had to fucking get laundry money or I had to put gas in my car because I'm fucking 44 years old, and that should never be a factor. That shouldn't be a goddamn factor anymore. You shouldn't have to sit down and go, well, I need to do this and I can't do that. Because I mean, I shouldn't have to look and wonder whether or not I can buy a burrito, right? That shouldn't be the fucking case. I should never have to sit down and crunch numbers to get a goddamn burrito. That makes no fucking sense. That's how fucking terrible things have spiraled off. And I can't, you don't want to, I can't. You don't, trust me, you don't. You're already bored hearing it now. I fucking get it, all right? I can hear goddamn internet snapping off all across this great land of ours and into fucking Sri Lanka and everywhere else where we got listeners who fucking are bored with hearing me tell you how I've got nothing. And then in the same breath going, The Avengers was awesome! But you know, fucking that's the thing. Is then you get it rubbed in your face because I try to watch TV and I go to the movies and I try to relax a little bit. Maybe if you get one sliver of it, but then it's rubbed in your face how poor you are by people like Rick Bayless and Tony Stark. God damn it, Tony Stark, you selfish prick. So much money, you build a fucking suit to become like a hero? Well, you know what? You know what makes you a hero, Tony Stark? Show up at my house and pay my goddamn credit cards off. Do that. That would make you a fucking hero. You didn't even have to wear the fucking suit to do it. Although that'd be much cooler. Holy shit, if Iron Man showed up with his repulsor rays and just sprayed cash out at my goddamn Visa cards, god damn, that's perfect. Thank you, Stark. I'll even forgive you banging Gwyneth Paltrow if you pull a move off like that. Pepper Potts. Hey, I got news for you, Pepper Potts. You got one job. Answer the fucking phone when Tony Stark calls. Okay? No fucking like biting your nails and staring at on your private plane, staring at a television while Tony's fucking phone rings in the background. Grab that phone. You got one job. Tony Stark calls, answer the fucking phone. Grab it. Spoiler alert. I don't want to give things away for the Avengers, but again, you've all seen it, right? You've all seen it. You all saw it, and then afterwards you all went to dinner, and then you burned money. That's what all of you did. You got together as a group, the Mike Schmidt Podcast listeners, 40-year-old boy fan, West Side 86 Jokers group, and you went and saw the Avengers together, and then you just had a bonfire of money, didn't you? You with your fucking cash. God damn it. I envy all of you. I envy you all. I pretend to talk down to you, but I do not. I stare up at you and your riches, and I wish I were you. I who have nothing. That popped into my head. I who have nothing. That makes me laugh. All right. So I saw the Avengers, and it's clearly, folks, I won't spoil anything for you other than answer the fucking phone, Pepper Potts. But I will tell you this. Avengers, greatest comic book movie ever made. It is clearly to the point where when I walked out the first time I saw it, yes, I saw it twice. I know you're thinking to yourselves, I can't believe he's so broke and yet he justifies seeing the Avengers. Oh my God, he saw it twice. Yes, I did. That sums me up. I am so broke that the shadow of bankruptcy is at my door in the form of a 1920s editorial cartoon, and yet I climbed out the back window to go see the Avengers twice so it wouldn't catch me in its shadowy gaze. Because it's going to catch me eventually. I mean, it is. And especially now that I'm doing the show, it knows that I'm at the movie twice a week, right? Although now it knows that I won't be at the Avengers. Well, who knows? Maybe you see it 3 times. 3rd time's a charm. Maybe I pick up some nuance I didn't notice the first 2 times. It's good to pay for nuance. So fuck, man. I see it clearly. So I did see it twice. Yeah, because I saw it once with my friend Pat. You have to see it with Pat. If I'm going to see the Avengers, I got to see it with Pat. Because who else is going to jerk me off during the movie? I have to Pat and I have to we jerk each other off while we're watching. Dude, that's what you got to do when you see a goddamn superhero movie. Me and Pat have to go and jerk each other off during it. That's half right. Maybe it's not right at all. Maybe I jerk myself off. Maybe there was no jerking off at all. Actually, there was plenty of jerking off. You know why? Because the movie was in 3D. I want to make sure people get their money's worth. Guy in front of me is wearing his 3D glasses, and I shoot him in the back of the head, and then he's like, wow, this is really good 3D. It even swooped in from the back. Yes, it did, friend. Little homemade pomade for you. Slick it back. All right, so. And that's a lie, because I would have shot over his head. All right, so anyway. Folks. Because I had saved it. I saved it for a month before I went to the Avengers. I saved it up. That's how I do it. All right. Anyway, folks, this is horrible. Let's move on. So I see it. I see it with Pat, and then that was on a Saturday morning. But here's the thing. All right. This is going to be. You don't care. You're not going to. I'm going to say this. Why am I saying this? Nobody knows. I went to see the Avengers with Pat because I had to see it. I have to see the movie. And technically, I'm in a financial morass. My own little Katrina is like brewing up in my house. Okay. And I'm on the roof with a bed sheet that says help. But at the same time, there's another person who's involved in this financial morass with me. Our friend Karen. And look, I love my wife. All right. And this is going to sound stupid, and it is stupid. I recognize the stupidity behind this statement, but this is totally true. I couldn't justify seeing the Avengers by myself and then her not seeing it. So I had to see it a second time so it didn't look like I was selfishly seeing it without her when we're in this terrible situation that we're in. But in reality, taking her just made our financial situation worse. But I don't feel right about taking privileges for myself that I wouldn't allow her to have. Like, does that make sense? Regardless of who's at fault or why things have gone to hell, nobody should be punished for it. In fact, I think I should be rewarded for it, quite frankly. I think for just keeping my head above water this fucking long, up to 44, I think everybody should be like, wow, you're an amazing person. Because we all knew that I was going to be a failure, an abject failure. We all knew that I was going to wind up buried under a morass of fucking debt at some point, right? And we all of us are, to a certain extent. Not like me. Well, yes, but like me. But also, but a lot of you have two shovels working on that big pile of debt. And that's all I'm going to say. So, I can't talk about life. See, this is the thing. You don't want to hear about life. And this is a problem for this show because all I have to talk about is fucking life. So it's like I could dredge up some story from the past and tell you about that, which I've got. I've got plenty of those. Plenty is a strong word, by the way, because I have done this show for 4 years and I have mined my past in a way that because now, you know who I am? I'm like a guy who just heard about the gold rush in 1930. And showed up at the mines and is like, hey, where's all the gold? All the gold has been mined in the previous 4 years, my friend. So that means what? The gold rush started in 1926? This doesn't make any sense at all. Hold on. This analogy is wrong on its face. I don't know why I didn't think of it. Because the gold rush is 1849. So I should have said it's like a guy who showed up in 1853 and went, hey, where's all the gold? Well, guess what, pal? From 49 to 52, that's when all the gold showed up. And if you want to find that gold, you can go to the gold miners website and buy the past gold because it's sitting there waiting to be purchased. As opposed to now, if you want to go ahead and take your pickaxe and dig into the walls and try to find some shiny chunk, eventually one of them's going to show up, I'm sure. I mean, it won't be like the crazy rush and the amazing amount of gold we had in the past, but inevitably there will be some sort of stray, shiny chunk of gold that you can turn in for some sort of recompense. I'm sure you'll find some sort of worth here if you give it at least, just put in an hour's worth of time, an hour, maybe two, and I guarantee that eventually you'll find something of value. That guarantee is not good in the United States or any other country, by the way. Guarantee is a strong word. The fuck's I talking about for the gold rush?
Getting out of debt and the past 5 years of shows and running out of material.
Oh boy.
Because I was running out of gold.
Yeah. Because I can't talk about real life. That's all I got left is I have real life, and you don't want to hear real life. Trust me, you don't. You do not. Because you know why I can't tell you about my real life right now? Because I can't do Droopy Dog's voice. And literally, that's what it would have to be told in. It would just be, you know what? Oh no! Oh my God! I can do Droopy Dog. Like, you know what? I'm happy. I can do it. Well, hold on to your ass, folks, because here comes real life. And then I can't do it. All right, so nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to hear. You want to hear wonderful things, amazing things, all the good things. And I can't wait till I can do the show to tell you about good things. I applied for jobs this week, like for writing gigs. I went to there's websites you can go to and dig up writing stuff, and they're. It is such a frustrating process. Like applying for any job is crazy, especially on the internet, because the internet has taken out all of the sell yourself aspect of getting a job. It used to be that if you just got in the door, you could actually kind of charm them or be funny. And look, that's all I do is talk. All right. I think you guys recognize that. If I can get in the door and you meet me, well, either you're going to fucking hate me or you're going to love me. If you hate me, then I don't get the job anyway, whatever the fuck. At least it took time to meet me. But if you love me, then boom, I've got a better chance depending on, everything else that I've turned in. It's like when I got the job writing for Funniest Pets and People. I had people there who liked me. They referred me, and so I had to go in and meet with them. So when I met with them, they were into me, except for the one dude who didn't know me was this guy, Brad Lockman, who's of course the fucking huge, powerful guy. And he's like, well, I'm going to have to see some material from you. And I was like, all right. So I brought my packet in. I sent him my packet, and they said, all right, well, come on in and meet Brad. So I went in and I met them and I met Brad after they looked at my packet. And then Brad I was funny with Brad. I wasn't really, because he's an intimidating guy. Brad knew Bob Hope. He became Bob Hope's closest confidant. And then he produced all of Bob Hope's specials and all that. So that's who Brad Lockman is. He always, every year, he produces the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Like, I mean, he's that guy, you know what I mean? So he's a huge name in television. So meeting him was interesting. And then you have to show deference, of course, and you can't be yourself right off the bat. But I was still kind of a smart ass, but funny, because I was trying to get a comedy job, and he didn't. Let's put it this way: this guy thinks Bob Hope is funny. All right, so I had to try to figure out. I had to figure out a balance between me and Bob Hope, whereas I couldn't go completely Hope because it would look like I was pandering, but at the same time, I couldn't be completely me because they're going to throw me out of the building. They're going to call security and escort me outside. So I had to try to find a happy, fucking weird Ritz cracker, no taste, bland medium between me and Hope. So I gave him my packet, and the producers guys, they really liked it. And then Brad met me, and he thought I was really cool, and everything seemed nice. And then I went home, and I fucking waited to hear if I got this job, because it was going to be the best job I'd ever had. So the whole day goes by, and finally at 4:30 I get a phone call, and they said, hey, Brad wants to see more material. And I said, what? And they said, Brad wants more material, like anything you can provide. I said, well, I gave you a packet of jokes and stuff. What does he want? I go, does he want me to generate new jokes? They go, and it was it was my friend Todd, who was the producer. And he goes, hold on a second. And he put me on hold. And then he picked up, and I don't know if he went to another office or he found a different phone line, but he just said, I don't know what Brad wants. All I know is he wants more. And that's something I'm sure real people deal with at regular jobs. And I deal with it all the time at these kind of jobs, because it's like people don't know what they want. They just know that they want more. So I said, all right, dude. So I then kitchen sinked it. I sent them fucking 3 sketches I had written for the Man Show. I sent them like a ton of fucking jokes. I just sent like this huge packet. Like your normal packet has like 10 jokes and a few other things. I buried them. I sent like 50 monologue jokes. I sent I exhumed every writing sample I had ever fucking contributed to any other show, because I had tried to get a job at Best Damn Sports Show, period. I had tried to get a job at all these different places and manufactured bits. So I just exhumed all of those and just fucking crammed them into one thing. I was like, this is the Hail Mary. And I sent it, and they were like, well, it's going to take the weekend. And I'm like, is he going to really read all of this stuff? And then Monday came, and they were like, well, we're going to make a decision this week, probably by Wednesday. And I'm like, Jesus, fuck, what? Because again, it would have been and this was at a time when I thought, I was in now because I had just finished working on Starface and I had done the job as the announcer on Starface. So I had that. So I'm like, well, here, I'm going to audition for a ton of announcing jobs. And I was still doing Never Not Funny at the time. Or no, had Never Not Funny started? Maybe not. Christ, I don't even know when this happened. Fuck, none of this happened. This didn't happen at all. I'm hallucinating from biting a cactus earlier. I apologize. Because I don't know if you're aware of that. You've got to cook the nopales into a salsa or else you get the hallucinogenic properties of the cactus. Stickers in the mouth and craziness in the brain. Fuck, I might have to see a chiropractor. So I don't, I had to wait basically the whole week. I was like worried and I didn't know, but I wasn't worried. That was the things I thought, well, if I don't get this, I'll just get another job. Because I thought now I was in show business because I had gotten like 3 jobs in a row. I had written for Saints Row and then I was writing for Starface, doing the announcing. And I'm like, look at this. I got all my irons in the fire. I'm an after now. This is perfect. Things are working great. And then I waited a week and I didn't hear from them. And I would constantly talk to Todd and he's like, I not constantly because I wasn't a pest about it, but he would call me every day and he'd go, yeah, we haven't heard from Brad yet, but we're still, they're staffing up. They've got one guy for sure, and they got another guy, and then finally Friday they called me and they were like, you start Monday, and Monday was Labor Day. It was funny. It was September 5th or whatever. You know how they celebrate? Isn't Monday like a labor? Aren't you usually off or whatever? I don't know. It was something like that. And he's like, yeah. And he goes, I said, okay, well, isn't that like Labor Day? And he goes, oh yeah. And he goes, well, still they want you to come in. And I go, well, I'm not bitching. It's not like I'm looking for a day off already. Fuck, man, that's Labor Day. I can't start then. When in reality, fuck, believe me, I don't give a fuck when it is. And again, it's just writing jokes. What is Labor Day? Doesn't even apply. But then I got hired, and then they called me to tell me what I'd be making. I told the story on here, didn't I? Because I knew what I had made at certain jobs, and in my head, I'm like, all right, I know what I'm going to ask for. Because I knew what I had made at Starface, and I knew what I had made at Funny Money and these other shows, and Cheap Seats was a certain amount. That was a different thing, because it was a certain amount per script. But other shows, I made a certain amount a week, and I'm like, you know what? I've got to make more, because I had made. Oh fuck! I'll just tell you. I made $1,500 a week at Funny Money, and then at Starface I made more than that. And I was like, well, and at Starface they offered me money, just like at Funny Money. They give you an offer, and very rarely do you get to come back with, well, I'll take this, because I mean, fuck, they can find anybody to do these goddamn jobs. So, but I was ready to ask for a certain amount on Funniest Pets and People because I had been through a week and I had met them and I had provided so much material and I was cocky. Like I thought I was in show business. So I'm like, well, fuck, I think I'm ready to make this particular amount. And if you guys aren't ready to pay me that, well, I'll just move on to the next show business job and just waiting for me to walk in the door. Which is not true. But at the time I thought that because like I said, I thought that I was about to start working a ton. So they called me on Friday to tell me that I was hired, and they said they would be the office guy, the main money guy. Bill was his name, and they said he'll be calling you later to talk about money and all that kind of stuff to get it squared away. This was Friday afternoon. I said, okay, great. So he called me Friday, and I was ready, man. I had gotten the job, and I didn't want to tell Karen yet that I had gotten the job, but I was still excited. But at the same time, I wanted to kind of sow my oats a little bit and start asking for money that I thought I was worth, because when you do acting jobs, they send you out with a quote. Like when I did Malcolm in the Middle, because it was a specialty job because I was crazy fat and I had to shove a bunch of sausage in my face, I made more than scale. Like I think I made $1,200 a day to do that. That was my quote, and then they accepted it and everything was fine. And then of course the agent gets 10% and blah blah blah. But so I sat there and I was like, why do I care telling you numbers? Whatever. I wanted to make $2,000 a week. Like I was like, I'm going to make $2,000 a week at this job. That's what I'm going to ask for. And I'm going to kind of hold firm, but I'm going to ask for it. So I was waiting all day, and then Bill called me, and he's like, hey, Mike, congratulations, welcome on board. Looking forward to having you start on Monday, and then you'll meet Matt, and you'll meet the other writers. And I said, okay, great. And he goes, all right, we're here to talk money. He goes, there's no negotiation here. Because I'll tell you that right up top. He goes, I have a number that for you that you can make, and if you can't make it, then we go somewhere else. And I was fucking so crestfallen, because it was like when they tell you, because that's really not true. I mean, it is true, but they're still a television production company. But they've got line items, and you're a line item, and they've budgeted for a certain amount, and you hope that you can ask for more. But he came right out aggressively, and also they know, because I mean, I had to jump through hoops for fucking 10 days to get this job. I had to meet Brad, and I had to fake Bob Hope. I had to do all this bullshit, so they know I'm not going anywhere. All right, I'm lucky to have the gig, but I was disappointed because I wanted to ask for $2,000. I was like, God damn it, I would love to do. And in my head, I'm like, well, maybe I could still ask for it. And I was like, you know what, Mike? Because I made $1,800 at Starface. I had made $1,500 Funny Money, and then made $1,800 at Starface, in addition to making my announcing money for announcing on the show. And then so I that's why I wanted to go $2,000, because in my opinion I was like moving up. And I was like, all right, Bill, that's fine, cool. And he goes, all right. He goes, writing money is $2,500 a week, and it doesn't change. So I'm sorry about that. I don't know if that's too low for you, if that's any. And I'm in my house, and it was like, you ever seen a movie when a guy gets great news and he's just like, ugh, like he's got his fists clenched and he wants to scream and yell? That's how I felt, because he's like, and the best part is this is, again, we all have jobs, we all have certain levels. Television is different too, because there's money. But dude, he said $2,500, and he apologized. Like, he was just like, I'm sorry, there's no negotiation here. $2,500 is where we can go with this. If that's not enough, I understand that, and we can move in a different direction. But I tried not to crawl through the telephone and shut him up, like with my, then like, shh, no, shh, it's fine. I had to sit there with the phone in my ear and wait for him to stop talking, because I didn't want to overplay my hand, because I was ready. I was going to do a fucking somersault. It was crazy. And so he finished talking. I go, no, okay, well, that works. That's fine. It's kind of what I had in mind, and we're okay. You also then you try not to talk too much, because I don't want to say, I don't want to pretend like I'm like when you were 18, you were buying beer. Remember when you would walk in? And you put the beer on the counter, and the guy's like, hey, how's it going? Oh, it's going good. I just got off work, man. I'm going to go home and drink a 12-pack. You just, me, I love beer. We all love beer, right? You love beer, or else you wouldn't work here. What a great job. You love beer. You're so close to beer. Here's my money. Oh, what ID? Well, it's funny you would ask about my ID. I think I left it at the office, or maybe at the construction site where I work. I mean, you're so used to fucking embellishing. It's just shut the fuck up. So he dropped the $2,500 on me, and I'm sitting there and I'm just like, yeah, that works. I think that works. I could make that happen. That's fine. And then I hung up the phone, and I fucking sprinted around my house, and I called Karen. I'm like, yeah, I was like so happy. And I don't even know why the fuck I'm telling you this. How did it even spin off into this? There was no point, right? There couldn't have been a point. You know what? I think the only reason I'm telling you this is to remind myself that good things used to happen. Literally, the only reason I'm telling this story is because to remind myself that at one point there was some value placed on the things that I do, and maybe in the future that kind of miracle will happen again. Holy shit. I always talk about the show as like more like a book than a movie, and sometimes it's like a therapy session. This is the closest it's ever gotten to therapy session, I think. This last 15 minutes of me telling you about when I got a good job once. That's literally me lying on a couch recounting the good times as a fucking guy just sits there and scrawls into a notepad about all of the sad things that he's experiencing, watching me relive the glory days of my past. Jesus Christ. And you know what? I might as well cling to that, because let's be honest, someday in 5 years, I'm going to be telling the story about this as if this was the good time. Because this is as good as it's going to get for the fucking rest of my life. This is The 40-Year-Old Boy, and coming up later, Spanish for Dipshits with Amity Armstrong. A Kickstarter reward. Oh, I'm Vic.
And I'm Vinny.
And we're the Screw Brothers. And a lot of you people have been sitting at home and getting your porn from the internet. Well, that changes this weekend. You're visiting the House of Filth for an in-store appearance from huge male porn star Corey Oslin. All of his DVD titles are on sale. Movies like these.
Hey, there's shit flakes on my lap.
Captain Blue Vein pulls a train.
Third input from the sun.
The Courtship of Eddie's Nutsack.
Mr. Fisty gets a chubby.
The Magnificent Face Baster rides again.
And remember, the first 25 people that mention the 40-year-old boy get a free jug of Corey Oslin main syrup, straight from the tap.
So come on down this weekend and cock wrestle with Corey Oslin at the House of Filth. Remember, it ain't filthy
unless it's screw filthy. Attention, burlesque people.
make sure you got all your stuff squared away before Wednesday. Because if I'm here talking, I don't want you calling and ruining everything, all of my momentum, all of my flow, everything that I was bringing to the microphone. We took a break there, not because I felt we needed a break, but just because there was all of this chaos breaking out in the world of burlesque. And the only person who can solve this is our friend Lily Von Stupp.
Yes.
She has to bust open her spreadsheet that says tits or no tits and tell everybody who goes where. It's literally like people are calling up and going, hey, do I wear a hat in this scene? Hold on. She opens up an Excel spreadsheet and goes, yeah, you know what? It looks like you have a hat on in that scene. Thank you, Lily. They are directionless. The Los Angeles burlesque scene is directionless without Lily and her laptop. And she has to constantly rush to her Excel spreadsheets and open it up. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, white wig. Yes, you wear a white wig. And then, oh, good. You're the only one who looks good in a white wig, by the way. Good for you. Nice choice. Moving on. What's this about tacos and nonsense? And then everybody goes to Tequila Town. What the fuck is this? Oh, okay. Yes, it's all written right here. And then Lily, I get the other end of it. It's funny. It's like when she hears me talk to David about the painting, I have to hear her conversation about burlesque because she's talking. And she's like, well, yeah, I didn't get that. And then there's a beat. And then she goes, well, no, that fucks me. And I know what it's like to be the other guy. It's like literally I've had that happen to me with Lily, where she just unloads on you like for no reason, but with very good reason. I should take that back. For me, it's no reason. Because I mean, I don't do anything wrong ever, right? You guys know that. Lily knows that I'm a being who's beyond reproach, certainly above reproach, something to do with reproach. I don't know. I'm one of those things. But then she's got these guys in zoot suits calling her and going, hey, do me a favor. What color pocket square am I supposed to wear next week? Hold on. Clack, 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 clack. Spreadsheet. Plaid. So literally we took that break, I think, an hour and 10 minutes ago. And now I'm back to the grind. Slave to the grind. Sebastian Bach. That's how he does it. All right. Folks. Hey, but what do you care? Honestly, you were just happy to have a fucking break just so you can stop having me whine about being a hobo, for fuck's sake. You're just like, God damn it. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. And I don't want to be a hobo, folks. I don't want to be that guy. But it's coming. It's certainly coming. I work at my work, and eventually I'm going to have to find a place to sleep there in the parking garage. Like I'm going to have to, and I've done it before. We've talked about that in my car, but now I'll have to sleep out of my car somewhere. Because that's the thing. Is like I tell you, how as good as it was at those other jobs and making money, and now I work. Folks, the other day I came to work. Here's what happened to me. I pulled into work, and I saw it. I saw it. My windows were up, so I didn't smell it, but I saw it. I pulled in. My lights hit a skunk. There was a skunk inside the garage, the parking garage, and I was pulling in. So he saw me and he booked. Like he froze at first, and then I put the key in, and then when the gate started open, it makes a loud noise. So then he booked. He like ran over behind some cars. So I parked, and then I could smell him because obviously when the lights caught him or when the noise happened, he sprayed. But not a ton. Like it wasn't overbearing, but it stunk. I mean, it reeked pretty bad. But then, folks. Here's who I am as a guy now. In my head, I actually went, you know what? Go find him, because either you'll find him and it'll be interesting to like find him, and you can, or he'll like spray at you, and then it's like a story. Like I have a story to tell where like a skunk sprayed at me in the parking garage. And so I did. I actually went out and I investigated in the parking lot. In the parking garage, I walked up and down and I looked where he was, and it stunk. It wasn't like crazy overwhelming, but it was bad, still bad. And I went and I'm looking under car. Like I got down on like, I crouched down. I'm looking under cars for a skunk. And then in my head, I just go, what the fuck are you doing? Because in theory, it sounded to me like it would be a fun thing to do and a funny story. Like, oh, yeah, the time I almost got sprayed by a skunk. But then when I'm doing it, I'm thinking to myself, dude, almost doesn't play into the equation. And you're getting like, you're crouching down with your face like toward the ground. You're going to turn around and there's just going to be a fucking asshole right in your face and blast. You're going to get fucking blasted. And then you're going to have to go find tomato juice or whatever the fuck it is, or climb into a dumpster, or just off yourself at that point. Because we both, I don't like to be dirty ever. You know that. I don't like to be dirty or sticky in any way. I mean, there's good times to be sticky and bad times to be sticky. All right. One of the bad times to be sticky is in a goddamn parking garage with a skunk ass in your face. That's not, you don't want to wind up sticky after that. And I don't even know if it's sticky. It might be the most, it might be viscous. It might be, I have no idea. But the point is, I shouldn't have to find out. But instead, I made myself follow him around because that's how bored I was. I'm just like, well, this will be fun and also relieve my boredom. And you never know what'll happen. Maybe I'll get a story out of it. Dude, I almost crawled up a skunk's ass to get a story for you guys. That should give you an idea of how much I'm putting into this fucking show for you folks. I almost climbed into a skunk's asshole to get a goddamn story for you. And I looked around and then finally went, I can't do this. And I doubled back to the office. I'm like, and then as I sat down, I realized the bullet I had dodged. And I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck are you doing, stupid? But that's my life, unfortunately. That's where I'm at. I work at a job where I could have a run-in with a skunk at any time. I was at the desk, and it was like 4 a.m. And it's silent at my work. I keep the sound down, because I have to stay frosty in case there's any bad stuff that I can go tackle someone or there's a skunk to find. And I'm sitting at the desk. I should actually put up a photo of my view. I think I did once, actually, of my view from the desk so you can see what I'm looking at. So I look out my doorway of the office, and then there's another doorway to the parking garage. And, what are you pointing? Am I not making sense? Right. I'm sitting at a desk, and I can look right into the parking garage. All right. And I'm in a genuine office. I'm not in some fucking, cold concrete-ridden thing with a transistor radio. I mean, it's there's actually a heater. I don't want you to think that I'm that horribly, I don't have a uniform on. I mean, it's me and my regular, I might have to chase somebody close. All right, so I'm sitting there. It's like 4 a.m, and a girl walks into the lobby from the parking garage. And she's carrying, it looked like a notebook under one of her arms. And she's holding a gas can in the other hand. And she comes around the corner and she looks and sees me and freezes. Like she makes that weird, like she had no intent on running into anyone. She had no clue. Because again, I'm super quiet. And she comes in and I was just as freaked as she was because I don't know where she came from. Like I didn't hear any doors. She doesn't live there because I know most of the people who live there. And she's walking out with a gas can. So I go, hey. And she looks at me and she goes, hey, hi. And I go, can I help you? And she goes, oh, no, I'm just leaving. I go, where did you come from? And she goes, oh, I was in my cousin's apartment, 101. I said, oh, all right. And why do you have a gas can? And she goes, oh, well, because she had some gas for me and she told me to come and pick it up. I said, from a gas can? And she goes, yeah, it was fine. And I said, well, did you get it? Did you siphon it out of her vehicle or how did it? She goes, no, she just had me pick it up. She's up there. And I go, what's her name? She says, Elaine. I said, Elaine. Okay, so Elaine in 101 and you're her cousin and you came here to get gas at 4 a.m. And she goes, yeah. And I go, all right, well, why are you leaving now? She goes, well, she went to bed and I'm leaving. And I said, so how did you get into the parking garage? She goes, oh, she gave me her opener. Now, look. You can't, there's no opener for the gate. You have to use a key, a house key. Like it's a certain thing. So I know she's lying. But here's the thing. I knew she was lying anyway. She's lying about whoever's in 101. She's lying about her cousin. She's lying about someone gave her. I mean, it's all lies. But the thing that was amazing about it, she never stopped lying. Like she was fantastic at it. She didn't back down. She didn't ever blink or flinch. There was no She had like a story rehearsed, but it was the worst story you could ever make up in your life. But I guarantee you she's making it up on the fly because she had no idea she was going to see me. Because here's the thing. Somehow she got into the garage and she was siphoning gas, obviously, from cars. And then you can't get out of the garage once you get in because you have to run over the hoses with your car. Now, in reality, if you stomp on it, it will open the gate. But I'm sure she wasn't thinking that. She just thought she could breeze out the lobby. She got in, took care of her business, and she's going to split until she fucking ran into me. So I was was just like astonished, and so I kept asking her questions, like, because I was loving the fact that she had all these stories. So I'm like, all right, so your cousin Eileen lives in 101, and she gave you the guy. She goes, yeah, absolutely. I said, oh, okay. I thought you said her name was Elaine. And she's like, oh, well, what did you say? I said Eileen. She goes, oh, I'm sorry, I thought you said Elaine. And now I'm like weird. I'm good cop, bad copping this chick by myself. And I go, all right, well, I'll tell you what. You came in. She goes, yeah, she gave me her opener. I go, well, do you have the opener on you? And she goes, well, no, I used it and I gave it back to her, and she went upstairs to go to bed. Like everything, it was great because she was right there with a fucking answer every time I had a question, even though it was totally the worst lie. And so I looked at her and I go, all right, so what are you doing now? She goes, well, I got to go. I said, all right. I said, well, I'll walk you outside. Because I just wanted her out of the fucking building. Because, again, I have no gun. We've talked about this, folks. I need a gun. I need a fucking gun. Because if she walks in, she tells me 9 lies, I just shoot the gas can and we both die. First of all, we're going to die of embarrassment anyway, so I might as well just shoot the gas can and we both die in a fireball. I mean, seriously. Just end the charade now. But I said, I'll walk you outside. So I did. I walked her outside, and she's carrying you hear the gas sloshing around in the gas can. And there was no ride waiting for her. I thought I'd find a guy or somebody waiting outside. So she goes walking. I go, where are you going? She goes, oh, well, I'm going over here. And she goes to walk to the building next door. And I go, you live next door? She goes, no, my brother lives next door. I said, so your brother lives in this building next door, but you were at your cousin's house till 4 a.m, and then you had to get gas. Why didn't your brother give you gas? Oh, no, I went over and grabbed the gas for him. Okay. So your brother lives here. And she goes, yeah, and then he's going to give me a ride. I have to leave. I'm leaving town. I said, you're leaving town? She goes, yeah, I work on the road. I go, what do you work? And she goes, refineries. I said, you work in refineries? Like, what do you mean? She goes, yeah. She goes, one time I worked on a time bomb. And I said, oh. Well, I go, yeah, of course. Well, if you're at a refinery, of course, eventually you're going to work on a time bomb. That makes sense. And she goes, yeah. She goes, I have to go to Houston in the morning. And I said, well, it's 4 now. Like when? She goes, no, and I have a flight at 10 a.m. I go, so you were at your cousin Elaine's house, who lives in apartment 101 here, and she gave you some gas to give to your brother, who lives next door, and then you have to leave on a flight to Houston because you work in refineries and sometimes you work on time bombs. And she's like, wow, you're good. You remembered all that. And I'm like, I don't think I'm the one who's good here. I think you're pretty good for remembering all that. And she goes, well, it's just strange because I live with my brother, and I go, oh, you live here? And she goes, well, no, I'm visiting my brother. I go, well, all right. So you're visiting your brother, but you were visiting your cousin, right? It was just, I couldn't believe the crazy puzzle of lies that she was putting together just to steal gas. And finally she goes, well, no, I'm visiting my brother, but I'm going out of town. Like I said, I have to fly to Houston because I work in refineries. And I go, great. And there was a beat of silence, and I looked at her and I go, I'm not going to see you back here again, am I? And she goes, no, sir. I said, all right. I said, well, enjoy your trip to Houston. I just want to make sure that I'm not going to see you here again. She goes, no, sir, you won't. I said, good. Thanks for your time. And I went back in the building. Because you know what? I can't bust that chick. She had too many great stories. I can't. And if I call the cop, eventually she's going to talk the cop into arresting me because she was better at talking than I was. I almost thought of having her on the podcast. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to have an open mic and you just start fucking talking about refineries and time bombs and then point at me to tag out. Like you and I, we could set a record. I could have called Guinness. The two of us could have just fucking talked forever because she had an answer and a lie for everything. It was gorgeous. I loved her. I mean, and the thing was, she was 20. I mean, like, she was a young Latina girl who was just stealing gas in the middle of the night. It was the fucking weirdest thing. And then, as I thought about it more later, I'm like, well, wait a minute. Maybe she believes all that crazy shit. And what if it's true? Like, what if it's really true? So then I went up and I went to freaked out. I went up to the apartment. There's nobody in 101. It's empty. The apartment is completely empty. So unless Elaine moved out from 4:10 a.m. to 4:30 a.m. while I was grilling her cousin out on the street before she went to meet her brother, before he took her to Houston to drive her to go to her refinery job, and she was going to go work on a time bomb, then I think it may have been a lie. It may have been a lie. Because I've done that too. I will tell you this. There have been people who've come to the door and they go, hey, I'm here to visit my friend. And I'm like, who? And they're like, well, I don't know. He's in apartment 301. And I go, all right, I'll walk up with you. What do you mean? And I go, I'll walk up with you. If they're expecting you and they won't answer the buzzer, I'll go up with you. And I've walked up with people and we've knocked on apartment 301 and nobody's answered the door. And I go, looks like he's not home. And he goes, oh, okay. All right, thanks. And then I'll walk them out of the building. And they're, and because I do it at my house too. Because now, for some fucking reason, all these young people have moved into my building, and I believe me, how old am I for fucking saying that? But it's true. All these like 20-year-old actor types have moved into my fucking building, so they're leaving. And this is all right. Here's why. Again, it's not even just generational. It's technology. Nobody has a home phone line anymore, so consequently, nobody uses the buzzer anymore. So when you buzz, you get in a code to buzz the apartment, and then you can use your landline to buzz them in. Well, these people don't have fucking landlines. They use cell phones. So someone calls them on the cell phone, and then they'll have to go out to the gate and let them in. And it's a pain in the ass. So they just leave all the gates unlocked. Every time I come home, there's like a brick wedged in, or they'll jam like fucking paper towels into the lock to leave it open so their friends can fucking come and go. And then I'm the old asshole who kicks the brick away or pulls the paper towel out or won't let somebody in unless he buzzes. And then they get pissed off at me. And I'm like, fuck, I've lived here fucking 15 years, dude. You're going to be gone in a month. I'm not letting it, because the day my wife gets raped is the day I Charles Bronson the shit out of you and your entire fucking Breakfast Club entourage posse. You will all die at my hands. Because no fucking strange people are getting into my goddamn apartment. The other day I went to leave and there was a dude at the door. And I opened the door and he just went to walk in. I go, where are you going? And he goes, oh, my buddy, he lives up in like 207. And I said, okay, well, is he coming down? And he goes, well, I called him. And I go, all right, well, let's wait. He goes, why don't you just let me in? And I go, because you don't live here. And he goes, no, my friend does. And I go, great, then he can come get you or you're not getting into my apartment complex. And again, I'm not a cop. I don't mean to be a fucking stiff prick about it, but you're not getting into my fucking house. It's just not working. And sure enough, his friend didn't come down. I waited a minute and I had to leave. And I go, you know what? I'll walk you up. So I did. I walked him through the courtyard and we got to the stairs. And he was a nice kid. His name was Vadim. And he was nice about it. He wasn't mean to me. But other guys have been pissed off and I won't let them in. And I don't give a fuck. I'm not letting you in my goddamn building unless you got a key or unless you live here. Fuck that. And you don't care, folks. And sadly, this is what my life has come to. This is the diligence I have in my life. Before, I was doing somersaults in my apartment over making $2,500 a week, and now I'm chasing the 20-year-old Latinas who work on time bombs. This girl's got a more important job than I've ever had. I'm halting teenagers at the gate that they can't get into my building because I'm this fucking fuddy-duddy who just sits around and gets older and older and older. I'm chasing skunks. I used to make $2,500. You know what? This happened to me the other day. Fuck me. I get to my work and I walk the perimeter. All right. And I have to go fucking check all the doors and make sure they're locked so nobody comes in and steals gas. And apparently that day I didn't do it properly because cousin Elaine had let her fucking niece in or whatever the fuck. So this is true. I go walking around the back. And I do the perimeter. And in the back, I told you I play Zombie Apocalypse because I have to go in the back and there's no lights. And then it's like gates and all this stuff. So I went back and I'm checking the doors and I'm walking through. And as I'm walking, I hear like a shuffling. And in my head, I'm like, dude, fucking Zombie Apocalypse. It has started. Get ready. Get frosty right the fuck now. So I made a key fist. I busted out a key fist. And I'm standing there. I'm waiting to see. Because again, that's not going to hurt a zombie. But I don't fucking care. Maybe I plunge it into his head and I get to run. Who cares? So I wait and I hear shuffling and I don't know what it is. So then I stop. So when I stop. So then I start to walk a little more, and then I start to walk, and I hear like shuffling, and it's slow, but it doesn't. It's like nails on tile. You know that noise? And zombies always have long fucking toenails, so they're fucking. I'm sure it's them. So I'm guaranteeing it's the zombie in my brain. I take a few more steps, and I hear like more, and it's only when I walk, and then when I stop, it stops. I walk a little bit more, and then all of a sudden I see out of the corner of my eye like a flash of something on my side, and I walk and I hear this noise. It's like it's skittering now more than it is. It's like nails, like instead of a shuffling, it's more of a skittering. And I see movement out of the corner of my eye, and I stop and I turn my head and I look, and there's a fence that runs along the perimeter of where I'm walking, and right there on the fence, eye level, is a fucking rat. So it was on the other side of the fence and I could hear it, but then as I was approaching, it hopped. When I saw the thing in my eye, it had come over the fence and landed on the shelf. And I looked, I turned around, and there's this rat on the fucking, and it's got long rat tail and rat face, and he's not moving. He's looking straight forward. It's the weirdest thing. So I stop and I turn and I look at him, and when I look at him, he looks at me. And he's looking at me and I'm looking at him, and I got a key fist and he's on the fence. And as if we went 1, 2, 3, I look at him, he looks at me, we run. I run my way. He runs his way. He runs toward the apartment. I run toward the back of the apartment. Folks, I had a standoff with a rat, and I lost. I ran. It was my time. I was back there being frosty. I had a key fist. I'm ready for the zombie apocalypse, and sure enough, I'm face to face with a fucking rat, and I ran. And he ran too, but that's incidental at this point. I'm bigger than him. He has to fucking run. But he stared me down. He fucking rat stared me right the fuck down. That's what it's come to, folks. I'm a successful comedian. I used to be. I used to make $2,500 a week, and now I lost a standoff to a rat. And in reality, with where my real life is right now that I can't tell you about, I should have grabbed him. I should get used to it, because in the future, I'm going to have to catch those guys and eat them for sustenance. That's where I'm at with my life. I'm going to have to grab that rat and jam a fucking skewer right through it and cook it on a fucking fire like a hobo. And then maybe some 20-year-old Latino will show up with gas and we'll really fire it up. The two of us will walk around. You know what? I should have teamed up with her. That's exactly what I should have done. Fuck this job. I should have teamed up with her. We could have gone from parking lot to parking lot stealing gas. And then eventually we would have flown to Houston and opened our own refinery because we would have had enough gas to do so. And it would have been Mike and Elaine's cousin gas refinery and time bomb extravaganza. No rats allowed. You guys can get me at Mike at MikeSchmidtComedy.com. You guys can be my friend at Facebook.com/the40-year-old-boy. You can follow me at Twitter.com/the40-year-old-boy. No, that's wrong. You can follow me on Twitter at Twitter.com/the40-year-old-boy. You can be our friend Lily's friend on Facebook at Facebook.com/LilyVonStupp. You can follow her at Twitter.com/LilyVonStupp or Twitter.com/MNTs. And if you want to write her a personal note to find out exactly what you should be wearing in the show this weekend, I'm sure she has it in an Excel spreadsheet. All you need to do is contact her at Lily at burlesque411.com. That's Lily, Lili, at burlesque411.com. His name is Michael Woods. His name is Michael Woods. His name is Michael Woods. Her name is Emily Gallardo. Her name is Emily Gallardo. Her name is Emily Gallardo. Want to remind you folks about the Monday Night Teas. Just before I started talking, I asked Lily, I said, hey, how do you like your new computer? She doesn't like it. I feel awful. Because having chipped in on that computer.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
It's that so many things changed in the new OS, and it's been such a shitty learning curve for me. It's like, oh yeah, I have to, reinstall that entire program now. Because there's a lot of programs I don't use a lot, but they're important. And then when you launch them the first time, it's like, welcome, and it's like, oh fuck, another shitty thing I have to do before I can start working on it. There you go.
I'm a skunk hunter. So I'm very sorry to hear about your problems with your new $2,600 computer. I'm sorry, $3,200 computer. I forgot you got it tricked out. I'm crawling under cars looking for skunks. Jesus Christ.
I'm telling strippers what to wear.
Yeah, good point.
Both of us have made huge mistakes.
What is going on? All right. Want to remind you folks about the Monday Night Teas. Every Monday night at the 3 clubs on Santa Monica and Vine. It is a 10 o'clock p.m. show. My friend Lily produces it. It is the most successful, longest-running burlesque show in the history of Los Angeles, California. Last week was the Madonna show.
Yes.
Which I understand was a huge triumph.
It was amazing.
This show was so good, folks. There was a standing ovation for a T-shirt. That's how excited the crowd was, how lubed up they were, how amped they were. And then the performers, sure, that just put them over the edge. But the T-shirt, oh my God. It was like Elvis Presley's coat, that old Saturday Night Live sketch. So now this week coming up is it's a special show of some sort. If I remember correctly, it is
Doc and Stumpy's Taco Fiesta.
Doc and Stumpy's Taco Fiesta. Now, the show itself is enough of a draw. Yes. Doc and Stumpy are fine performers. And then, of course, there's tacos and there's also a fiesta. But in addition to them coming in, there's also going to be a
taco truck.
A taco truck. Is that Don Chow?
It is Don Don Chow's Chacos. Chinese
Chacos?
Mexican. Yeah, they're
Chinese
tacos.
Mexican fusion Chacos. Don Chow's Tacos. Chacos will be there. That's a Chaco truck that'll be outside at intermission and at the end of the show.
At the end of the show, around 11:30, they're going to show up.
All right, so come on out and see tacos and then get tacos.
Tequila specials. Tequila's titties and tacos is what I wanted to call it, but I couldn't put titty on a flyer.
Why not?
Because I have the other titty show coming up, then I didn't want to
Just-
titty. I didn't want to blow titty off.
You didn't want to have a titty bang bang going on. You were like, no, it's all right. Well, that's fine. But this week, so it's titties, tacos, and tequila
Yes.
at the Doc and Stumpy's Taco Fiesta at the three clubs on Santa Monica and Vine. It's the Monday Night Tease show. You know all about it, folks. Are you performing in this show, Lily?
No.
All right. Will you just be like topless with a bandolero of shooters and you'll walk around giving tequila to everybody?
I thought about it,
Yeah.
but no.
Ah, you should do that. I would do that. I would come Monday night, but I have to be working on a time bomb. A time bomb. What a gorgeous lie. What a gorgeous lie. A lie a 20-year-old would think of. Actually, it's the lie a 4-year-old would think of, really. But what a gorgeous, I once worked on a time bomb. Oh, really? At a refinery? And then the Avengers came and thwarted my plans, my evil plans. So go to the three clubs in Santa Monica and Vine. And also all the information you would need is at MondayNightTees.com. So go ahead and find out anything there. And as like I said, you can follow her on Twitter and get all the info as well, folks, for drink specials and shows coming up and themes. And it's going to be it's an exciting summer. It's the summer of, we know it's the summer of Christine. We talked about that earlier. But it's also here in Los Angeles, the summer of Lily. In Ohio, it's the summer of Christine. So remember, you can go to facebook.com/the40year-old-boy and be my friend. And you can also look at all the pages of people who want me to go to their towns. I think there's a Buffalo page that's still in play. Detroit, I'm still working on. Wisconsin, I'm still looking at making happen. So all of that stuff is in play. If you want me to come to your town, there's pages you can sign up on. And I am coming to several towns coming up. June 1st. I will be in Boston at the Cambridge YMCA Theater. That's Friday night, June 1st. Tickets available at brownpapertickets.com. Shows at 8 o'clock in Boston. Shows at 8 o'clock in Kansas City on June 15th at the Westport Coffee House Theater. And tickets are on sale for that. Buy some tickets, folks. That would be kind of cool because I think I'm going to tape in Kansas City, although I might not. Have not decided just yet. But it all depends on how many tickets I sell. I mean, if it's me and three dudes, it doesn't make any sense to tape the motherfucker because then I'm Neil Hamburger, for fuck's sake. Well, I mean, joking, Neil Hamburger. Now he draws a crowd, but in the old days he would do it on whatever. You don't fucking care. I don't want to offend him. I don't want him looking for me and coughing on me. So that's June 15th in Kansas City at the Westport Coffee House Theater. And remember, June 1st in Boston at the Cambridge YMCA Theater. And then June 29th in Toronto at Comedy Bar. Buy some tickets for that. Again, we need to show that guy that I can actually get people in the building. That would be kind of cool if you did that. I went to do my passport. I'll tell you about that next week. I had a passport adventure. I forgot all about that, actually. Yeah. So I'll talk about it. Remind me next week to talk about the passport. Like you need to remind me. You should just write next week, reminder, stop bitching about your life. Passport in parentheses. So I'll be in Kansas City. I'll be in Boston. I'll be in Toronto at the end of June 29th. And then July 27th, I'll be in Indianapolis, Indiana at the Indy Fringe Theater. Tickets are on sale for that now. Indy, you were the first place to really set up a page. Buy some tickets to make me think that you didn't all just fall by the wayside. Granted, it's months away. It's 2 months away, but it would be kind of cool if you bought some tickets so there was at least a hint of there being some people in the room. I'm coming to grips with a lot of things, folks. Coming to grips with a lot of things this weekend. So please, come on out and buy tickets to those shows. Boston, Kansas City, and then, of course, Toronto and Indianapolis. Still looking at Detroit. Still looking at Wisconsin. All these different places. Remember, going to MikeSchmidtComedy.com and go to the Joe Business page. There are download sets available. Year 1, Year 2, Year 3, and then the Lord of the Schmidt set. There's the Fellowship of the Schmidt, the Return of the Schmidt, and the Two Schmitties individually, and then the Lord of the Schmidt set complete. Those are coming down, I believe, by next week's show, definitely. So this is the last week you can get the Lord of the Schmidt and then all of those 3 sets individually. They might still be around as different names. Who knows? I don't know what's happening, but I'm just telling you right now, the Lord of the Schmidt set will be gone This is the last week for you to get it if you're going to get it. And then spring will sprung next week with a new. There's no spring. I was going to say spring starts anew. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. There will be something new for you to buy. All right, that's it. I'm just going to tap into your pocket. So on the Joe Business page, there's the downloads. There's tweakedaudio.com/40 who just sent me some new earbuds in the mail to try out, which was nice of them. And they want to do a promotion, but I don't know what I'm doing just yet. They wrote me this week. Bruce did. He's like, dude, let's do a promotion. And he probably meant for me to discuss it with him, but instead I throw it out to you guys. Why not? Because I'm a jerk. So I got to write Bruce and figure out exactly what promotion is coming up. But there will be one coming up with tweakedaudio.com/40 very soon. And hey, let's tell you about this, folks. I always tell you to go to Zazzle for mugs and mouse pads and all that fine stuff. You know what? If you go to Zazzle right now, all right, let's put it this way. If you go to Zazzle right now, there should be something new, okay? Because I uploaded it this morning at 6 a.m., and I was waiting to see if it would come out, and it said, hey man, it might take 24 hours. Well, it's been 18 hours, and it has taken just that long. Is it up? Oh, they're up. Okay, cool. That's good news. There's the new mugs are up, right? Yes? All right, good. I always say mugs and mouse pads. There are no more mouse pads because it is 2012, and I recognize nobody uses mouse pads anymore. So with iPads and things like that. So we just stuck with mugs this time, and we didn't bury you in travel mugs and all sorts of shit. We tried to streamline it. There's 2 different mugs available at Zazzle.com right now. There is a show mug. A MikeSchmidtComedy.com mug, a 40-year-old boy mug, straightforward with a drawing that's amazing. Mex made a really cool artwork on the front and the back. And then we've decided to branch out and let some of our other people who are involved in the Mike Schmidt Podcasting Network make some money as well. And we've decided to actually finally use, we decided to let a character go ahead and brand themselves. So there is a Thorgar and Yeep mug available now at Zazzle.com. So go check that out right now. There's a Thorgar and Yeep mug. There's a show mug. Just 2 mugs. They're new, and they're there for you to check out. We took down all the other stuff because it's you guys bought it all. It's all sold out. So we went ahead. However, Mex came up with brilliant ideas for artwork for these 2, and because I was actually going to bail on Zazzle. I was like, dude, I don't know if that's the thing. And he goes, actually, I have 2 ideas that I want to try. And I said, okay. And then when he showed them to me, I'm like, yeah, those are fucking great. So we went ahead and made them into mugs. And then I looked into doing an iPod case. Because they had iPod cases, and today when I was building shit, I'm like, what if I made an iPod case, like a show iPod case? Yeah, they would make me charge you $42 for it. Like, Zazzle's fucking retarded. So I'm like, I can't. That's just ridiculous. So I've got 2 mugs. If you want a mug, grab one. If you don't, no problem. Go look at the artwork, though, because the artwork for it is fucking amazing at Zazzle. So that's a Joe Business page. You can click on the download sets, which will be, it's the last week for the Lord of the Schmidt set. And then, of course, there's as I mentioned, the Zazzle.com with the new mugs, and then tweakedaudio.com/40 with a promotion coming up very soon of some sort. I'm guessing it will involve earbuds. That's my guess. Autoerotic asphyxiation earbuds, or perhaps it'll involve cock ring watches. It may involve both. It may be a whole do-it-yourself kit. I don't know. Who knows what they want to do? I got to contact Bruce. Although now that I've revealed these plans, perhaps Bruce will pull out. He will say, I'm sorry, I'm not interested in any sort of promotion with you, sir. If he calls me sir, then all bets are off. All right. Saw The Avengers twice, as I mentioned. Greatest comic book movie ever made. And I've been telling people that, and then people always give me the same answer. They're like, well, dude, what about Dark Knight? And I will tell you, look, I love Dark Knight. But Dark Knight, when you see The Avengers, you will realize that Dark Knight is not a comic book film. Comic book movie is The Avengers because it's bright and it's loud and it's got a bunch of shit going on and there's shit's exploding. And in The Dark Knight, it's just dark. It's like, you know what The Dark Knight is? It's literally, it's like The Departed, but with Batman in it. Like it was like a special crime movie. Like if there was Casino, like if somehow there was Casino and then Batman showed up and he had to fight Joe Pesci. That's what it's like in The Dark Knight. And Goodfellas. Like, yeah, if there was Goodfellas and they had to fight Batman. If the Goodfellas had to fight Batman, that's what The Dark Knight is. And I love the fact that I'm calling them the Goodfellas, as if they were some sort of superhero team that had to fight. They were like a supervillain group. Like, meanwhile, back in a prison cell, Paul Sorvino slices garlic with a razor blade as they plot the demise of Batman. Batman. And they weren't the Goodfellas. They weren't like a team of Goodfellas. It was just three dudes, and the movie was called Goodfellas. But still, I got to think the Goodfellas lose that fight, right? I mean, the Dark Knight comes in, and he yells in that crazy voice, and they all laugh at him, first of all. But then he beats the shit out of him. I mean, and look, Jimmy Conway's no joke, but I guess I'm sorry, I favor Batman in a fist fight with the Goodfellas. Unless Pesci. You know, maybe the three of them stomped the shit out of him like fucking Billy Bats. Oh my God, Billy Bats! Holy shit! They stomped Billy Batman into the fucking ground, and he's like, go home and get your Bat Shine box. God damn it, I turned it around. Fuck rooting for fucking Batman. I'm rooting for the Goodfellas as the three of them team up, and they stomp Billy Batman into the fucking ground right there in the bar. And he bleeds in the fucking form of the Bat logo, and they go home and get your fucking Bat Shine box. I've changed this entire movie. Because I have a tone. Because you know why? Because I talk quickly and I don't fucking think. That's why. I think that's what it means when you have a tone. Is you don't fucking bother to care what comes flying out of your goddamn mouth. I try to grow the show and I want people to get on board, and they're like, I listen to it and you talk too fast. Really, I talk too fast. How the hell else am I supposed to cram all of this into a small 3-hour window? Dude, there's no script. I just go with this shit on the fly. It makes me laugh. If it doesn't make you laugh, turn the fucking station. And by turn the station, I mean turn the wheel of your car right into a guardrail. Jesus fuck. Hey, where are you going, boy?